still do. We still do. We still do.
Still do after all this time at the altar. I alter my mind and vow to God I love you till he make his return. The rain should be the least of your concern. Under God's umbrella, I promise to provide and preserve his word.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of We Still Do. We're your host. I'm Jermaine.
I'm Lena.
And whether you're decades in or newlyweds, We Still Do is for you.
Yes. So make sure that you like and subscribe and comment. If you're not already subscribed, we do weekly uploads. We believe that you can thrive after the altar.
Listen, I am excited.
Yes,
I'm kind of geeked up.
too.
Be mindful of, I don't know what's going to come out of this
Yes.
conversation.
But it will be authentic.
It will be authentic and it will be blessings for you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
We have one of the most amazing couples here with us today, and they have a story that is so transformational. And if you got a chance to sit down and talk with them, they're both busy. But if you got a chance to sit down and talk with them,
Here is your chance right now to sit down and talk to them.
Calm on down.
Yeah, like they really have a story that's like nothing but God. You know, when you hear their story and you just see the fruit of their lives now and just everything that's happening, man, we feel you would really be blessed because it really has blessed us.
Yes, sir.
Just as a couple. But without further ado, welcome the Shawns.
Yeah. Blake and Mia, our brother and sister.
Yeah, listen. If you couldn't tell, me and Mia have the same spiritual father. We look alike. Me and Blake have the same biological mom. We look exactly alike.
That's right.
No, but seriously, man, we're so grateful to have you. Too,
Thank you for having us.
That was
We're
good.
so happy to be here.
I'll let
Man,
you start
Jermaine
off.
is geek. He
is. He's
Yeah,
so
we ready for
geek.
this.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
no,
He
we're
is.
stoked, dude. We're so stoked to be here.
Yes.
Man, well, let's just jump into it. Kind of
Yeah.
just tell us, like, just a little bit about your story now, as far as, like, when you think about, like, all you've been through, like, where you are now, like how do you feel about being where you are in
I think we
marriage?
got to go back though. You got to share how long you guys been married. Just share a little bit about you two as a couple.
Okay, so
I
you-
think that's good.
They're new to the We Still Do family.
Yeah.
So,
That is true.
Yes.
That
so
is true.
we need an
Okay,
introduction
true,
for
true,
those
true.
that don't know you guys.
Okay, let me
Yep.
slow down. Let me catch
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Breathe.
You want me to
That's
do
all
it?
you, baby. Yep.
So we, this year in September, will be in a relationship for 10 years, but we will have 8 years of marriage in April.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. God's been so
Crazy.
good. I know. It's so crazy. I had never been in a relationship where we didn't like break up on and off. Like Blake has always been, and I knew like this guy's different for sure. Not want to mess it up, but
She tried to break up with me
I did. I did.
He wasn't
a
having
couple
it.
times. Like, nope.
Wow.
The answer's no.
That was a Vegas trip back in a lot of drinking at that time, and I was not in a good place at all. But yeah, I tried to break up with him so many times that night, and he just was like, no. And I woke up and I was like, and I realized what I had done, but he was like, no, we're together. Like, I wasn't gonna let you do that.
Did I just make the worst mistake of my life?
Yeah, thank goodness. Thank goodness he held firm in that. But yeah, 10 years. We have 2 kids. We have Micah, who is 6, and we have Asher, who's going to be 5 in a month and a half. They're 17 months apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
yeah,
thug.
that's really bad.
Which will probably be part of,
Yeah.
I mean, even what we get to talk about with all of this,
Yeah.
because
That's been a journey.
the amount of transitions that we've had to experience, I think, individually and collectively.
Yeah.
And it's something that no one talks about
No.
Yeah.
a lot. Like when you get married, it's not like you guys, and I think we like to, and even me, like growing up in a conservative house, like, you think the two become one. Like that means you guys agree on everything. That means you guys grow at the same pace.
No.
And you guys go through the same seasons.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do, and sometimes you might, but the majority of it is not.
Yeah.
And so figuring that out, and obviously we ain't both birthing babies.
Right,
you know?
right.
And
Yeah.
so even on a hormonal
Yeah.
level, there's things that women go through that men do not. And I think us men, like, we have to take those factors in. I mean, even when we don't see eye to eye today we like have to be taking measurements on like where are we at? Where's our sleep at?
Yes.
Where are we at with the kids? Where are we at with taking care of ourselves? Where's our business stuff? Where's our personal stuff? Where's that period?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
we say it jokingly, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that stuff ain't no joke.
It's not, and it's a
Yeah.
factor.
And
for
it
sure.
is. It is. And so
Absolutely.
learning grace by learning yourself and being self-aware and then learning your spouse and I think is just important. So we've gotten to go through a lot of different phases and this has been probably my favorite one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
My favorite one yet.
Yeah.
So-
okay, I have a question already. We're going to get to what we're going to talk about. But just in that, because you're talking about transitions. Now, we talk about this. A lot of times, there are big life transitions. Having kids is one of them. Maybe starting a new job, moving cities. You guys have had a lot of transitions. When you think about it, like
true.
these are big life factors. And a lot of times when a marriage is going through a transition, they don't give each other the grace to transition well and to figure out the new rhythm. And so you see a lot of marriages falling apart during these big transitions that happen in life. What do you think has been the most transformative transition you guys have gone through, and how did you stay connected
I like how
throughout
you
that?
slowed that down too, because that's a big combination right there.
It was. And like 100%, you know, like and just in Jermaine's point, like slowing it down, you hit every word perfectly. That was impressive. So that was kudos to you. Seriously, that's not easy. Well, do you wanna answer that? I have my idea.
I think you should go first for this one because I just went first for the other one.
Yeah. So I think the biggest transition for us personally, if we're just gonna get right to it, is stepping into 100% sobriety.
Yeah.
Given our pasts and our backgrounds, I think on a personal level, that's been the greatest one because even if you're healthy in other areas, if you're not awake or if you're not awake to your own life
Yeah.
or to your marriage or to your different things, it's hard to really be whole. And I think that's why I'm saying this season has been the best because I'm fully awake and aware to it.
That's good.
But it didn't come without a fight.
Yeah. How long have you two been sober?
So if we wanted to, and you know, I've battled with addiction stuff since I was 16, 17 years old. Mia's battled since she was like 12 or 13. So this time I've, you know, just being completely straight, because I know there's so many people out there that struggle with this stuff, and it's through my transparency that people get to know that I'm a safe spot for that. So I always want you all to know like I'm safe when it comes to that. But we're coming on to 11 months of completely cutting everything out.
So proud of you guys.
Yeah, and
That's powerful.
I would say, you know, I'm well over 10 years off of the hard stuff. But I've made compromises with even living in California and like they call it California sober.
Yeah.
And so they still throw in sober there, but and I would say I'm very high functioning. And so when you're smart and you're high functioning and you're charismatic and you have all of these giftings, you can be high and still perform well. So it makes you or tries to convince you that you're whole, you're good, you're doing better than most.
Yeah.
And these little compromises settle in. And so, yeah, we're 11 months. It's been like the most, I've went through stints where I've been 100% sober probably for maybe up to a year. But I think this might have been the longest since I've been 16 years old, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's been really awesome. Really scary, and it took a huge toll on our marriage. The fact that we're sitting here today is a blessing. It's a miracle. We don't take it lightly. We talk about it and we thank God for it almost every night when we're praying. Like
Yeah.
the way that God has kept us, and it was a battle, and it was choosing each other over all of these other things. So yeah, I'll kick it over to you on that and how much you want to get into it. But
10 months sober right now 10 and a half. Yeah. So, but yeah, for me, I've been sober with alcohol as well for over a year. But yeah, with the weed was like a whole different kind of transformation because I just did that throughout. Like, I just knew around 12 or so, there's so much chaos to just like check out. That was my way of like safety. And I didn't have anybody necessarily on me to make sure of that. And then when Blake and I met, like we would just smoke all the time together. Like one of his ways of really capturing me was like he would always have so much weed on deck every time I came over. And then like years later, all of a sudden, like there's dispensaries on every single corner, you know? So it's like, okay, all of the different, like it's not just flower anymore, like which is actual just weed itself, but then there's all these vapes and all of these different types of edibles as well, and for ups and downs and all these things. And so on my end, he was functioning, high functioning. I was the exact opposite. So we had Micah and Asher, and shortly after I had Asher, maybe when he was a little, almost a year old, I decided to put them in daycare because my postpartum was so bad and I didn't know how to deal with what I was feeling, and we were not in a good place in that time either. So I felt so alone, and I just checked out of motherhood, really. I mean, I spent 4 hours a day with my kids for 5 days a week. Weekends were still a lot of sleeping most of the time. And so I'm so grateful for that too. Like Blake's always, like in this season, been supportive of me as a mother. And I really, really appreciate that because Blake's always seen me for somebody that I had no idea that I ever could be, you know, and he really, really pursued me even before I even wanted him back, you know, because he just saw me. And so it's been such a blessing now, like our marriage has flourished, which has also helped our relationship with our kids flourish. The more that we're present with each other, the more that we've been able to be present with our kids, you know? So God's been so kind to just be here, you know, like that's like you said, it's a miracle.
Like I hear that, and it makes me think of like, as you two talk about your story, like it really sounds like you two don't have shame attached to that. Like when I think about things that people are experiencing similar in their marriage, you know, of addiction, like they don't talk about it because there's this shame that they attach to it. How did you two get to a space to where that shame isn't attached to the actual story?
That's a good question.
Yeah. For me personally, it's because I have stepped out of survivor mode and I've stepped out of being a performance-based individual. And what I mean by that is when you're performance-based, it's not only that you perform well, like in life in general, you want to perform well and be perceived well. So being transparent and authentic, even if someone wants it when they're performance-based, sometimes they're prevented from doing that because of the judgments that are attached with it. I mean, I'd be lying to say that I wasn't like, that it's still not like super easy to talk about, but we're so honest with each other. And the people that I glean the most off of in life are those that are so authentic and raw and are in progress and in process. It's not the completed thing.
None of us are completed.
Because like, how do you relate to that? We all love the good testimony, but the reality is our testimony isn't finished until we get to go home. And so our story is still being written. Everyone that watches this, their story, they're right in the middle of it too. What stage or phase they're at, we don't know. But if we can't be safe for others, usually we're not even safe in our own mind, is what I find. So if I can't talk about things that I'm currently going through, then it's usually because I am still casting judgments on myself. I am still hooked up to shame and guilt. And that gives the enemy a foothold over my life. And I'm done giving the enemy a foothold and creating strongholds over myself. And I mean, if God has kept us and he has kept me individually, has kept us collectively, then surely others got to be set free too. So it's too heavy of a weight for people to go on by themselves. And I mean, you know, even when I was saying it, I have that old performative side of me and that old, oh, people are going to judge me. It's like, you know, I have a very, what I would consider a very blessed and successful business. And they hear, 11 months of sobriety. Like,
Yeah.
man, there's people who have been doing their job for 50 years that haven't been sober one day, and they won't talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, I find freedom in it. And the way that you defeat guilt and shame and those judgments that you put on yourself is by actually talking about it.
Yeah.
And you two have been such a big part of that. And I think why we're even here is because you guys created a safe space for us to talk about our marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if that doesn't happen, then we're not even able to communicate in a way. And if our marriage isn't healthy, individually, I'm not healthy.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard, and you're the therapist here, so you're gonna have to tell me, but like, I am healthiest when our marriage is well and whole and transparent and authentic and is unhooked from guilt and shame and judgment and all of that stuff. So the two becoming one, the two being one, like, we bear each other's weight. Doesn't mean that we still can't be ourselves. Doesn't mean that I'm still not crazy and goofy in my own way, and she's even crazier in her own.
Yeah.
But some people are like, yeah, me is crazy.
No.
For sure.
She's
Funny. No, yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
So, I don't know. It's like, it's so fresh, even this new season. So, I'm excited to talk about it because I never want to be bound by the same things and the same chains that I've been bound by. And the only thing, or there's a few things that are different, but one of the main things is I'm not afraid to talk about it now.
Yeah.
I've been afraid to talk about so many things.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's good, man, because it's even a testimony. I was kind of not necessarily eavesdropping, but you know, like when you're on the phone, it's not on speaker, but it's loud and the environment's quiet and you can hear the conversation. It's kind of the situation.
Yeah.
Paint the backdrop. When we were doing content, like you had called your wife and you were just like, hey, calling to check in. And just something as simple as that, like most men wouldn't do because they feel like they shouldn't check in with their wife. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm the husband. Like, for one, I'll either take the stance of like, I'll call you when I'll call you, or like, I don't have to tell you my every move or even check in because the perception of it.
Right.
But knowing that you two are in such a pure place, it's like, that's not even crossing my mind. Like, I'm just letting my wife know, hey, I'm done with the, you know what I'm saying? And it's like in that pure place, like, I can do that and not feel like I have to check in because I'm in trouble, but I'm checking in because I want my wife to know.
Yeah.
And I'm inviting her. And so to me, eavesdropping, whatever you want to call it.
Being nosy.
No,
Call it what it is. Nosy.
It blessed me. It really blessed me to like, man, like, he's a husband who really like is just calling to check in. Like, how, like, it really blew my mind. Like, I wonder how many men do that. Like, when you talk about building trust in a relationship and you talk about like, how much can I believe what he's saying? It's like, no, like, you don't have to, because here, I'm going to tell you where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you know, I know kids nowadays do it. Like, they give their friends their their location and all that stuff. But it's like, no, like, you can have that. You can have the code to my phone. You can have access to this and access to that. And it speaks of you being in this healed place. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when you think about your story, like, it's like, how did you two end up here? Like, why are you two here? So I just wanted to throw that in there. I know you got questions circulating, but
I wanted to. We didn't really share what the episode was going to be about, and we wanted you guys to be here because of how powerful your love story is. Your journey has been the power of God and the evidence of His favor on your life and His hand on your life. And I was thinking about a love that heals and the healing component of love. And you said something, sister, about how Blake had pursued you. And before, you know, you always had this thing where you were breaking up, you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, but he pursued you in such a way. And I wanted to talk about that because even me being a little girl where my father wasn't there, I longed to be pursued. And one of the things I told my husband is, your love reminds me of the love of Christ. Like, it chases me down. You weren't going to let me go. And so how can you speak to that in terms of your relationship and how the way that he loved you, the way that he pursued you brought healing to you in certain aspects?
Blake has let me be me, which was like really wild because growing up, I always felt like I was too much, you know? And then I remember like God's really brought it to mind a lot, which is cool to bring it here, but just like growing up crying so much in my room of like, everybody has somebody. When do I get somebody? You know, like I just want to be seen and loved so bad. And so the cool thing with the sobriety too was like finally being honest about so much, even just memories before I met Blake, the way, because God has transformed me so much from who I used to be. I was so manipulative and secretive, and I knew I could read people so well. I knew what to do to get something from each and every person. I knew what I could keep someone for this or that. And so when I met Blake, there was so much vulnerability that came with knowing him, and I had so much anger stored up inside of me through so many years, and learning that that was the way to handle things was just rage all the time, you know? And so we had gone through so much, and then like deciding to be sober, all these memories came up, and I would call him and I would be honest with him, and he didn't shame me for any of the things I did, even stuff that I know people would be like, gosh, like, you know, but he was so kind and would help remind me that God's already covered that. That's not who I am anymore, you know? And there was this reminder over and over again. And so like being able to, Blake's not like any man I've ever known. Like when he was pursuing me through that time, and I was in my own relationship. I didn't want anything to do with Blake because I really was into the person I was with. And when that year, 2016, I got baptized, and I really wanted that guy I was with to go to church, and he didn't want to go. And Blake was like invited all the time by our parents and or my parents, and I saw him worship one day, and I'd never seen a man love God like that. I wasn't like the men that I grew up around, that wasn't something that was entertained. Like my biological father, I didn't even know that he knew God, you know? And so to see someone so like, because Blake, if anyone's ever seen Blake worship, he's just lost in God. And it's so beautiful. It's so like, it's precious and it's pure, his heart for God. And you could just see the tears going down his face. And like, he's a little kid, you know, just like being cared for by his own father, you know? And so over and over throughout these years, and the way that he loves our kids, and that took time for us to figure out our roles as parents because we had no idea what we were doing. But the way that he shows up for Micah, he instills so much confidence inside of her. The way that he just, it's not about her being pretty altogether. It's all the other parts of her. And even as a dad too, like these are things that I just didn't see. So it's not just only the way he loves me, but the way he loves others, even outside of our kids. Like, over this time has really healed so many parts of me. And I'm so grateful that like I can be here today as I am, and being crazy and being like all these different types of ways, but he's like crazy right there next to me, you know, like we can out crazy each other sometimes.
That's right.
Like,
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. And it's been a lot of hard work to get here. And we started doing counseling with Jermaine last year. To really help our marriage, because in the beginning of our sobriety, just being completely honest with things, it brought so much to light that like we almost did really end it, you know. And so we needed extra help, and I'm so glad he trusted you, because I've never seen Blake really trust anybody like that before, you know. So yeah,
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is, and it's just powerful to think that, because like I remember, like, complete transparent moment. I probably never shared this with any of you. I remember back when, you know, you guys were doing the Downtown Dream. You know, you and the guys, and you know, I remember like I would just try to reach out and like try to hang out, and it's like it was just so like hit miss, and it just bothered me, and I'm like, what is this? Like I'm a grown man, like I'm reaching out to, like, you know what I'm saying, trying to build fellowship and community and things like that. And it was like, it just was like, it really bugged me. But then I remember there was a time where it was just like, no, but it's something about this relationship that, I don't know, it's just deeper than what it is. You know what I'm saying? And like like my wife knows, like when I feel like, like I'm kind of putting in too much effort and I'm not getting that reciprocated, like to me that thing's dead. Like that's my bad habit.
Totally.
But it was something about like a relationship with you that the Lord just wouldn't let me do that. And so I think it really got to like probably before we started even doing the counseling thing, it was just like, no, like I actually feel the brotherhood, you know what I'm saying? And so that it was almost like that the trust that's needed for what our relationship is today, it really needed to take time, like, and I don't think people understand like when you say like how successful your business is and why that wasn't enough to just continue to do the things you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're literally like, at least for me on the back end, seeing things that I'm not seeing for other people in your arena of work. And you to say like, this is great, but this is more important. You know what I'm saying? Like for me to see that, it was like, okay, Lord, I see why. Like I see why you preserve that. I see why you didn't just let me like harden my heart and just kind of like give a reason and kind of skirt around that. It's because like we're actually linked because we have like we really have this desire to love you, God, in a way that really like brings us and our spouses closer.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, oh, like I see why you linked us. Oh, I see why we're in their lives. Like, oh, I see how like you're using all of us. And so saying that because it's just a blessing to see just how committed you are when it comes to your family. And it could have been easy for you to say like, no, like I'm successful, like I am the sole provider. Like we found our roles. This is how it fits. And this is just what it's going to be. But it was like, no, the Lord hit you in the gut. Like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you know what I'm saying? It's going to cost you more than you think. And for you to be sensitive to that, like to me, that blesses my heart. Like really blesses my heart to see that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I've always loved you, dude. Like it's super. And I think hearing even you being able to be honest about that was such a reflection of where I was at with myself. And it wasn't like, even though I loved people, I was hurting so bad. I didn't know how to have depth with people. I was so spread thin that I knew how to perform once again, but I didn't know who I actually was. And that's why it's so hard to love well without some form of self-awareness, without the Lord really waking you up and being like, this is your life. This is who you are. This is what matters. This is what doesn't matter. And I mean, it was probably 2021, 2022, like my prayer, my sincere prayer. I remember I was in like it was in one of the two buildings, might have been in the basement of one of them. And I was just sitting up and I was like, Lord, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I want to be congruent because I felt like Blake had a closet full of masks that I knew which one to put on for which room I was stepping into. But I was so fragmented. My soul was so fragmented because I knew I wasn't living to be who God made me to be. I was living to be who Blake thought God wanted me to be. And there is a difference sometimes because a lot of our like perceptions of who we need to be are almost an indoctrinated thing from a young age, whether it be our culture, the house we grew up in, the movies we watch. Like you can name a lot of things that heavily influence us and they indoctrinate this. When I get to be an adult, this is who I want to be. This is who, and you could want all of these things and then you get them and it's like, this is the worst to be completely honest. And I had, I'm pretty honest about my therapy journey at this point because I've not only been counseled by the Lord and the Holy Spirit, but I've been counseled by Jermaine in my marriage, and I've been counseled outside one-on-one in therapy, and I've needed all of the above. So if someone's looking for a formula, I can tell you it usually is all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, and you know, I
wild.
see some people be getting really heavy on one or the other,
Yep.
and it's like, for me personally, that's not been my story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched God speak through multiple counselors, individuals, and I've also been ministered to by the Holy Spirit Himself in worship.
Yes.
And if without them all, I wouldn't be standing here
Yeah.
today. And but back in 2022, if I was to put it in perspective, I came to that moment where I'm done. I'm done with the mess. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. And I had a decision to make. I was either going to pursue our marriage, be the husband and the dad that I know the Lord wanted me to be, or I was going to make everyone else around me and everyone else that grew up knowing me happy.
Wow. That's a major decision.
And I
Yes.
was at a major crossroads. And from the outside, I could have chosen the other one, and I would have been probably praised for it. I would have been understood more
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
And I would have been maybe even materially blessed more by it. But I chose our marriage. I chose my kids. I chose to be who God made me to be. And to be honest, and it's not the greatest answer that people are looking for, like by the world's sake, it appeared that I had lost everything. We sold everything we had, every building, every apartment, every house. We went into just massive debt, but we chose each other. And the reason is because I was ministered to that if I took care of my household first, everything that I had already achieved would be given back and more so.
Yeah.
And so I clung to the promise. And in that hard spot, I lost all of my friends.
Yeah.
I lost what I would consider brothers. And we weren't even doing good in our marriage. And there were times where I questioned, God, did I hear from you? And I think a lot of us get to that place at some
Yes.
point. In your obedience, you're even going to get to that place. And I dug deep. We would have convos. And even us not being in a healthy place, the Lord would still minister to us together, even through one another.
Wow, that's so cool.
Like if my world was falling in, even if she was mad at me, the Holy Spirit would intervene and minister a word to me through my wife. That's how precious not only marriage is, but just the household of obedience
Yeah.
is. And so we kept choosing each other. We figured it out. And we're still figuring it out. I wish I could say,
Yeah.
But on a just straight financial side, I had people saying that it would probably be wiser for me to just declare bankruptcy, start over. Who cares? Walk away, move on. Another obedience factor. It's like, no, I'm going to struggle
Yes.
because I'd rather choose struggle in righteousness than an easy route
Yeah.
Oof.
for the sake of it being easy and not heavy.
Yeah.
You preaching.
And I think every man and every woman, even though it's easier to say every man in their life is going to come to a crossroads like that. And God's going to be with them no matter what road they go on. But I'm so blessed that I get to be the age that I am, that we get to have been married going on 8 years, but that our kids are 4 and 6, and that I made the decision I did. Because even though we struggled, our kids are still young.
Yeah.
But the reality is that had I chosen something else, it's not that God wouldn't have given it back to me, but it would have been at a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the repercussions would have looked like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or
I'm
if
blessed.
your life would have been as fulfilling.
100%.
Because when you think of when you're at that crossroad of choosing, I guess, the world standard of success versus what God says is holy
Right.
and sacred
Correct.
and covenant with Him, you would have had the success just based on your performance, based on who
Absolutely.
you are. But this, and to see how blessed you are now
Oh,
in
amen.
terms of what God has done, it reminds me, I've just been reading the story of Job. I just finished that chapter, and how in the beginning, he was trusted to suffer
Yeah.
because God knew he wouldn't curse him. Okay, go ahead, but he's not going to curse me. Long as you don't kill him, he gave Satan permission
Yeah.
because he knew Job was righteous and blameless before God. And so
Amen.
sometimes we go through these things and it's actually God allowing it. And if you
100%,
wouldn't have
that's
gone
good,
through that,
sis.
would it have
Yes.
led you to where you are today?
Yes.
The journey would have looked a lot different. Would you have prioritized your marriage or to make that decision to be the husband and the husband and the wife, the husband and the
Absolutely.
father that your kids need? You know what I
Yes,
mean? And so I
yes.
think of that a lot of times. We want the easy route, and it's in marriage, it's in business, and we want to
Absolutely.
go the easy route. We don't want the hard, but sometimes marriage is hard and it's work, and sometimes you
Yes,
need help
absolutely.
to do that
We
work.
do.
And we were talking about the cultivation that's needed. You have to
Yes.
cultivate your marriage. You have to plant
Absolutely.
seeds. You have to water it. Sometimes that ground is hard and you got to till the ground, and
Yes.
we're not willing to do the work to be able to be in a place to enjoy the fruit of what that looks like.
Right.
And I'm sure there will be many more transitions to come in
Absolutely.
your marriage, right? We're still
Absolutely.
living. We ain't dying. There will be
That's
more
right.
more
That's right.
seasons and more changes, but something you said was key is you chose each other no matter what that season looked
Right.
like. And I think that is vitally important. In no matter what season or transition that you're facing in life, it's in choosing one another and not avoiding, I guess, the hard.
Yeah.
And that can be the hard conversations. That can be the hard decisions. That can be, priorities. And I think of how it says, like, in Timothy, 2 Timothy, I believe, but he talks about getting your house in order. Make sure your house in order. I
Yes.
think of
Good.
God is a God of order, right? And
Yes.
anything that's
Yes,
not
he
in
is.
his order is out of order, which
That's
creates
right.
this dysfunction and
That's
this
right.
chaos.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in order, I just think of like how you getting in your rightful position, if you will, as the
Absolutely.
leader, the spiritual covering, the house band,
Yeah.
and then now the fruit that has, yes, your marriage, but I see your babies too,
Absolutely.
and even how
Yeah.
it has affected them. It's just beautiful.
That is, and even talking about like how God he likes things to be done in order. Like a lot of times, like we get so fixated on like, no, this is what we need to do as a couple. But when you think back to the original marriage, it was identity before function.
Yeah.
That's
like
good.
when he said
Absolutely.
like bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother, cling to, that whole thing.
Yes.
Like it was, this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh, like, and therefore because of who you are, because of who we are, like now, like there is this reprioritization of like roles, like it's no more father, mother, like it's us. Like,
Yes.
and now because we now have our identity, like bone of my bone, like you're of the same essence as me.
Right.
From that, now we start to look into like roles and what does that look like?
Right. It's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's good.
so even when you think about like, just how, my wife kind of mentioned, like you talking about, man, there is this like love that you have for your wife that no matter what's going on the outside of me, like I am going to prioritize that. It's like, this is bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. And this is my priority. And all of that stuff will take care of it. But I think in that, especially when you talk about like sobriety, like making the choice, like God, I'm done. Like I'm gonna go all in with this. It's almost like people expect the healing journey to be miracles every single time.
Right.
When no, like we actually made the decision and we actually had to work at
Yes.
what we wanted our marriage to look like.
Absolutely.
And that is the miracle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
100%.
Like we're able to like work through that. And so like being on the other side of that, I have this question for you too. Like what did it look like for you to practically to create emotional safety walking through that early process? Because I feel like that is what also like creates this trust in the heart that you have for each other for the healing to continue. So what did practically creating that emotional safety look like for you two early on?
Yeah.
I felt like a lot with the rage that I was dealing with for so long. If he ever tried to bring his heart to me about anything, I would shut him down. And I would just make decisions based off what I wanted. Like, even when we tried to be sober in the past, like, he would try to go for it, and either I would go with it or I would for a second, and then I would hide behind his back and, like, hide vapes around the house and stuff, and he would have to find out, and I just didn't know how to, like, I didn't know how to be a wife, I didn't know how to be there for the hard moments or anything like that. And so when something bad would happen, then I would chase him down, but I would be so intense about it that I felt like he would shut down on me. And so something that has helped so much in marriage counseling is you teaching us our cycles and how they begin. So now, like even the other day when I was having a hard time, I've learned to chill out for a sec. I don't have to talk about it right then and there. If my emotions are way too high, so like, and that's something we still are getting used to, because in the past it was like, I need to talk to you about this immediately, like right now. And sometimes for me, because I'm very sensitive. I have lots of feelings. And so I've learned like, okay, I'm going to wait until, and so I went for a walk that morning and I just did my thing. And then when I was in a better place, I did give him a call. He's ready to hear me, and he doesn't shut down on me like he used to. So when I say something, I don't have to over explain myself, and he lets me know that that makes sense. So then we can move forward from there, And so that's helped so much to create that safety inside of our home. And even again, it spills down to the kids. When the kids are acting their age, we can meet them where they're at. Instead of trying to coddle them,
Great
trying to be like, no, don't, you don't have to cry. You don't have to like, maybe sometimes we just need to sit in this all together, and not like, and it's helped too of us figuring out what emotions are these last few years. And like with the sobriety on top of that too, that there's like two emotions at once that you can feel. You could feel super happy and super sad at the same time. It's crazy. There's still good moments in life, even when life really feels super duper hard, and so that's helped me a lot, just to feel like what I feel matters, because there's times I know he's like at the peak. I mean, not even the peak. There's probably way more to come from this with the business, but I will just call him. And if he doesn't answer right then and there because he's in a meeting, he will call me as soon as he can after that. And sometimes I just want to hear his voice. I don't need anything. I just want to check in with him, because I was telling him recently, our life is changing again right now. And I'm trying to get used to you working more, and I love that you're working hard for us. Thank you for all that you do. I just miss you. You know? And that's okay. So we had 2 date nights. We had one last night, and we had last night
2 nights in a row.
Yeah. So he hears me when I say it, and it matters because he actually wants to be around me too. Like I'm not making him to want to be, he's just trying to make the ends meet. And what a blessing it is, like that, because of his obedience. And me learning about obedience too, like we're able to really, I get to know him, because I feel like everyone always thinks that Blake is like the super happy guy all the time. And he is the happiest guy I've ever met, but he's a human.
Right. We all have our days.
And I love that I get to be his safety, that he gets to come to me and tell me his heart on things. And I get to, and he's helped me too. Sometimes I just need you to listen. I don't need you to solve the problem. I don't need you to give me advice. Can you just, and we've been able to do that. That's been awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's good in creating that space of safety. One thing that I thought of in your sobriety journey that I'm sure happened for both of you. One, you mentioned being awake, and you mentioned just how you would just be tired and all of that. So in this sobriety, what did that look like? Because now you're feeling in a new way that you've never felt before.
Yeah.
How has that been for, I guess, your healing journey, and how have you guys kind of walked through that together? And I know the safe space of like you being able to call and share whatever it is that you're feeling without judgment, and he would listen. But what has that been? I feel like there's so many external factors. If the marriage is good, you can have external factors, but internally when you're going through all your stuff, how can you're going through this journey at the same time. How do you be there for someone when I'm dealing with my own stuff right now?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You're both feeling for the first time in years, because you both said you guys have used since early age. So what did that look like? Creating space for your spouse when you're also feeling for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of prayer in the moment, and it's not like the praying like this necessarily. It's like she's talking to me, and I'm literally saying, "God, I need your help.
That's good.
God, I need your help.
That's good.
I want to listen well." This all happening while she's talking to me.
Yeah.
But it's right here.
Right here. He hears you.
God, I need your help. I want to listen well, and I want to respond because this is your daughter. And like always bringing myself back to, not only is this someone's daughter, this is the father's girl. And like, it's a lot easier to have that when I get to look at my little daughter, Micah Joy, which is like, you know, apple of my eye. Like, I love her so much. We have such a great relationship. But in the same way, I understand that when I'm able to listen to her well, when I'm able to speak to her well and treat her like who she is, she gets to remember who she is too.
Yeah.
And even though, and I say this in a way like, God was so good, the fact that he brought us together. I've been to rehab twice. I have battled sobriety head on and addiction and all of this stuff in a different way. So I have more experience with it is the easiest way for me to say it.
Yeah.
I know what it's like more so to originally have to battle in that first couple weeks.
In that first month, in that first 2 months. And Mia hadn't necessarily gone through that to the same degree that I had. So I trusted that God put me as the head of this house and to be her husband because, one, he's equipped me.
Yes.
He's given me everything that I've needed, and every past experience that I've had, even before our marriage, equipped me to be able to be the husband that she needs. And it empowered me, and it made me grateful that God was giving an opportunity to flex what he wants me to flex. And I think as a man, you have to understand life doesn't come at you, it happens for you. Everything that is happening to me is happening for me.
It's good.
And it's meant to build me, it's built to edify me, and it's built to edify us. And I'm the head of this house, not in a way to put her down, but in a way to lift her up. I know she's a queen. I know she's a warrior. I know she's all of these things. And the better I'm able to lead the house, the more that she gets to step into those roles, because she sees all sorts of visions of herself. I've caught visions of who she is. And I already be knowing that when I treat her well, that gets to be more whole. And because she doesn't have or didn't have a lot of the same experiences that I've already went through in some degree, like, I get to be the leader of this. She's not my mom. She's not here to like tell me what to do, because sometimes I think us men will look for that too. Wait, he'll come what to do, when to do, how to do it. When can we joke about that sometimes, you know? Because
Tell me where to go.
to a degree, but when it comes down to it, when you're fully awake and you're no longer high all the time, or in the evening when you're just together. Because if you're all working all day and then you come home and then you're high, you ain't with each other. You're in the same room. But that's about it. So I leaned in. I think a man has two choices, to lean in or to run away. And I leaned in. Like, I can bear having this feeling like I am crawling out of my skin and still be a good listener for my wife.
Yeah, that is hard. Like, hard to feel like I really just want to run away right now.
Yeah,
But my wife needs it.
correct.
So, like,
Later, that's sacrificial love.
Yeah,
it is. But I'm just thinking, like somebody who's listening to this is like crawling out of your skin. Like, I know what that feels like. And like everything in my brain is like going crazy. So for me to be able to be present for my spouse in this moment, like, that's really hard to do. And it really just shows, like, when you do lean into that, you're not just leaning into your spouse, but you're also leaning into the Holy Spirit, because that Holy Spirit will help you, like, okay, like, Lord, like, I feel all this stuff coming up in me, and like, I really just need you to help me hear my wife right now, because she's his daughter.
Yes.
And so that is a way of leaning in. It's like, I feel everything in me just like, I ain't got time for this. Like, I got work I got to do. Like, I can go and take the kids here. Like, you know, we need this for the house. Like, I really go to be productive.
Correct.
And we can revisit this. But if we revisit this, then this, in this moment, tells her that was more important than her.
That's right.
And so with me leaning into this, it's like, oh, I get to show my wife that she's important. I get to show her that, like, yeah, everything in me is fighting me to be in this moment. But honey, I still want you to know that you're the most important thing to me on this earth. And so I will fight all of this stuff that's telling me to leave, that's telling me I'm unsafe, and I can stay here for you. And imagining how hard that is for somebody else, like, it just reminds me of like things that you've experienced, that we experienced in like prior relationships, or maybe in like our family growing up. And how did, I guess this is my question, how did your, like, what part of the young boy in you do you feel your spouse healed for you to be able, and created this space of emotional safety for you to heal so you can show for her? Like, what part of you do you feel like her love spoke to the most?
I would say actually being authentic. Like, I would always say things like, or just how I was in general, is I didn't feel like I was able to take up space. And I realized with a lot of performative people, that's kind of the way that you're able to receive love and
Take up space.
yeah, like, and so she did let me take up space and said that I was worth that.
Wow.
And because everyone looked at me and always thought she was too much, it was one of the things that I respected and loved most about her, is that she was able to say how she was feeling. And I almost envied her for that. In a weird, like, just like, you shouldn't be able to say how you feel. I'm not.
Whoa.
I'm not. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're allowed to have emotions. Like, knock it off. Like, for real though, that's how it feels. Is like, and she was like, no, we get to be mad. We get to be angry. And I'm like, I guess, but like, it's a lot for me to handle. Like, what do I do? How do I fix this? How do I solve this? Yeah. How do I put out this fire? Because anytime I would feel a big emotion around me, I almost felt like it was my job to try to pacify it. Yeah. Or even extinguish it. Yeah. Like, let's get back to happy. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. What can we do to get back to happy? Yeah. And it was really through, because as much as I like to talk, like, I like to spectate and I analyze. I am processing at a very high speed almost all the time. And what I learned is, due to some of my past, that was a survival technique. If I could read a room before they could read me, I'd know what to say, when to say, how to say, in order to be safe. Yeah. She taught me, you don't have to do that. You can, and you could still say how you feel. Yeah. You can know that you might be about to upset someone by how you're feeling or what you're about to say, but you're still allowed to say it. Yeah. And so I always, and I've told her this quite a bit, like, because I've got to spectate that part of you, and because I've got to see the way that you've been judged for it, I really admired you for that. And I wanted to be able to have some of that. I wanted to be able to speak my mind the way that my wife was able to speak her mind. I liked her ability to say no. Yeah. I say yes to everything. I don't want to upset anyone. I was like, I don't care. I don't care who I upset. Like, no. And so we joke sometimes, but like, she taught me how to say no. I taught her how to say yes. So, and like, it's been a fun like that kind of meeting in the middle. And now we go back and forth sometimes. Sometimes now she'd want to say yes too much, and I'm like, no. Nope. Like, I'm tired. I'm wore out. Like, no. Yeah. So it's been really, really good. But had I not spectated it, had I not lived it with her, had I not seen another person embody it the way that my wife did, I wouldn't be who I am today. So how can I not be grateful? Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. Okay. Now, was there a point when you realized that love was not just supporting healing, but actually producing it? I think of the healing component of love, and I think of Christ and how he exemplified love for us, right? Now, us being made in his image, we now have that ability, just being with our spouse, that ability to bring healing to certain areas. And so, did you ever realize that it wasn't just a supporting role, but it was actually producing healing in just the fact that God brought you two together? Is there like a specific moment maybe when you realized that?
I feel like it's been really cool to watch Blake support me in my sobriety of finding who I am. Like, Blake's always had so much on his plate, you know? So when I decided to get sober, I was like, I'm going to join a worship team. And I joined it like the day after I got sober. So that meant he needed to take time for me to go to practice, time for me to show up to on Sundays as well. And then I had counseling that I was pursuing as well with doing EMDR. And at that time, Asher was out of daycare. So he needed to make time for that, for me to also go to like a mentor for like people that have dealt with drugs. As my uncle. No, he met with me every Thursday, but that would take hours at a time out of. So it was like a few months of those meetings, but also just endless months of counseling. And all of those things together that helped like that time that I needed to pursue my healing, you know, and also coming back and like when you're doing counseling and stuff and you're dealing with all of these memories and all these things, and that he would always validate me and let me know that's not okay. That is crazy. Whatever you need to do during this time, I support you and I love you. And that meant so much to me because when you're just like your whole life always like, is that right? Is that right? Is that right? And trying to get, you know, like that this year of healing through sobriety was learning like, what do you think? And him supporting that, you know, like he'd call me out if, you know, obviously I'm going off the rails about something, you know, but like he helped produce me into who like God created me to be. If there was things that I wasn't sure, like we did a bout of homeschooling and stuff, we ended up transitioning them back to school. But even during that time, like anytime I get a whim that I'm like, I want to do this, Blake's like, okay, do it. Like you could do it, you know? So even when I backtrack in the way that I'm feeling and my decisions, if I'm not doing it too hot, he still is supporting me. And it's like, well, at least you did this. And also, you know, like he really has helped my confidence really, really raise since we have been together. And if I need help with anything, like the kids, I want them to continue to be in dance or gymnastics or whatever it may be. He makes time for that too. If there was time where I'm like, I can't handle having both of them at once, I need help. You know, it is like, I want to be there. That's exciting to watch. I want to watch, then like be a part of gymnastics or whatever. So he's always just been in it with me, you know. So as like I'm growing, I see him growing too. And so in his father role as a husband and just all the things that he does, like, yeah, that's really, really helped with my healing. I would say has definitely helped, and showing up for our marriage counseling and stuff too, because you know I think we did premarital counseling, and I think we did a little bit of counseling when we first got married, but we really put all that on the back burner. So stuff like that too, where it's like, oh, like it matters to you. That means a lot, you know? And what would you say, Blake, to that?
I would say that a lot of us are just surviving and we don't realize it.
Yeah.
And I think just surviving doesn't necessarily make you feel like you have time for marriage counseling.
Yeah.
Or individual counseling, or for church or prayer or worship, or you just have time for whatever you need to be able to get through the next hour, the next day. And at some point, I had to make a decision, like I had talked about earlier, where am I going to keep living this performative life of surviving? It looks like it's thriving. And that's the thing about surviving that can be very tricky. Yeah. And I see it with people that could be highly productive, very busy, is sometimes that's our surviving.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily true productivity.
Yeah.
It's just our way of surviving. And so I really had to dig deep and realize, do you want to live your whole life like this? Do you want to be busy like this your whole life? And
Not that being busy is a bad thing, but I have learned that busyness and productiveness are two different things.
Totally.
My most productive day and how I had to change the metrics of my mind as a man is me being at work or being at an office or being whatever. Like, it didn't need to be 8, 10, 12 hours a day to make me feel like I'm a man.
Yeah.
Like, I did my part. I did my thing. My most productive thing in a day, even if I close 3 deals, could be me and my wife had a 30-minute conversation about how we were feeling and how we impacted each other the night before.
Yeah.
And that's where I made that shift into recognizing how I valued what productive is.
Wow, that's good.
And it
Or help somebody.
like it was such a game changer for me, and it will still go back to I had a crazy busy day on Friday when I called to check in, appointment after appointment, almost all day. I ended up working until I had to until 1:30 in the morning last night because I needed to do accounting stuff that's hard for me because I'm a little bit ADHD. For me to focus on one thing when I'm also getting calls and text messages and emails and I can't happen, so it has to happen at night after we lay the kids down.
Yeah.
And I had to get it done. And so, but the best part about yesterday was our dinner date. And the little check-ins that I was able to do, even though I felt overwhelmed. And so, like, I'm able to view my days, my weeks, my months. I don't, it's not monetary based anymore.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's presence based. And so, yeah, I don't know if I probably went off on a little tangent, but the idea was Mia always pushed me that she wasn't impressed with the things. She said, honey, we can go live in a trailer and I'd be fine. Wow. I want you. Yes. I want your presence. Yeah. I want you here with me. Yes. And that was like, what do you mean? Like, I'm a man, I'm a provider. Yeah. Yeah. And I provide well, honey. Like, come on, give me my due, you know? She's like, nah. Like, you're gone all day, and then when you're here, you're not here. Yeah. And I want you. And I was like, wow, like, this is love.
Yeah.
And I had really put love into a different box of production or what I was able to bring to the table. And it's not a bad thing in and of itself. But when it's not weighted and prioritized properly, it's really just a weird form of idolatry and a misidentification of who we're meant to be. Yeah. And so, yeah, if it wasn't for her pushing for those things, making me slow down enough and saying hard things, because she could have been happy with what I was bringing home, what I was doing. She could have been happy with that. Yeah. And she was not. Yeah. She wasn't impressed like everyone else.
Yeah. Like, honey, you're providing good.
Yeah, like, so, yeah, exactly. You know, it's like, we've come to a lot better place now, but had she not been that way, I would have never slowed down enough to be like, whoa. You are right.
Yeah.
So
it's so powerful when you think about just the healing power and a positive connection between you and your spouse. Like, and it's not just like something like in theory that's good. There's actually study on study about this. Like, for example, there's a study that they did. I think it was like Israeli researchers or whatever. Mm-hmm. And what they found was like, when you have a positive connection with your spouse, like, you protect each other from stress and life changes and trauma. And so they did a study of like, when they had Scud missiles going off in Israel, you know, and they impact the family one way or another, the stronger their connection, the better they were able to cope and get through that life change. And so even in something as serious as that, like, yeah, in America, we don't necessarily have to deal with that, but the stresses that we do feel are the same. Like, we feel this sense of disconnection, and it makes us feel like we're just the weight of the world is on our shoulders, and like all of this just feels insurmountable, and we just can't. But as I know, like, if you have a positive connection with your partner, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's more important than the actual stresses that are going on. So we were gonna say, like, man, if we live in a trailer, you still be with me. And she's like, yes, I really don't care for your money. Like, it's great. Kind of you provide, but like you are very, very known in your community. Like you're very good at what you do.
Yep.
But it's just you. Like I don't want anything else. And so it's like, if you really understood the power of a positive connection with you and your partner, like you would realize like all the stuff that we're going through, like that's not even like the thing. Like it's really us that matters.
100%. I wanted to say this because you spoke into the connection and it triggered me. I was talking with a friend and he said, because he's studying addiction right now, and he said, you want to know what I learned was that the opposite of addiction isn't necessarily sobriety, it's connection.
What? Wow.
And I was like, wow.
Wow.
He was like, if you study addicts, they are disconnected from other people, from themselves. But when they enter into sobriety, the ones that stay sober, they are connected. They're connected to people. They're connected to a group, an organization. So that's why I think you have all of these groups, that happen.
Yeah.
And I had never heard it in such a way that the opposite of addiction was connection.
Wow.
And so even I know in our sobriety journey and in our marriage and in our kids' life, if they're struggling, if I'm struggling, if she's struggling, how are we connected?
Yeah.
And if we're not, maybe that's what's bringing up these other triggers and we're getting lost on these other triggers thinking, oh, it's because we're having a hard time paying this bill. Oh, it's because really, are we not connected?
Yeah.
And we know that who the ultimate source is,
Yeah.
but he also gave us each other and there's an interconnectedness that the Lord has called us to.
Yeah.
And so
Cool.
understanding that is going to make me and my perception of when things get hard, it's going to change my lens a little bit. Like, am I disconnecting from things that I was once more connected to?
Yeah, and it really makes sense when in Ephesians it says like, don't let the sun go down on their anger.
Yeah.
And then I know you helped me with the other part of that, like
So the enemy won't get his foothold.
so the enemy won't get a fill. And so it's like in those moments of like anger, we see our spouse a certain way, and now when we see our spouse a certain way, it's just driving us apart.
Yeah.
And in that, he has a foothold because now we're going towards something that we actually should be running away from, like to our spouse. Like when we stand, like they're just not getting it. But what if it's not about them getting it? What if it is about running towards them when we feel that they don't get it so they can get it?
Yeah.
Because when they don't get it, we go to something to where we don't have to explain ourselves, which is why we get into the drugs or we get into the porn or whatever the case.
Correct.
Infidelity. Like I don't have to explain myself here.
Yeah.
Like it's the sex without the feelings. It's the encounter without having to lean all the way in. I can just release and just go.
Yeah.
But what if the connection was what really helped us heal and it's not just about
Absolutely.
lasting the pain
Yeah.
by doing something to where we have to like just exist. Like it's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
Just,
Just survive
think about
again.
that,
Yeah.
you know. So just even hearing that and just thinking about both of your response to like, okay, God, we're gonna trust you and lean into this.
Mm-hmm.
You know where we were about to go. We don't want to go there,
Mm-hmm.
and we also really can't see far down the line, but we're going to trust you step by step in this. And to see where you two are now is so beautiful. Like I really enjoy seeing it. I do enjoy seeing you like at church, just like weep and just like everything is just like absolutely love seeing it. I mean,
It's a rare thing to see men worship in general. You know, it's usually the woman. So it's such a beautiful thing. And in the way that you lead, like, you know, in servanthood leadership. Like, I just think of that.
man, we can sit here all night.
But they got kids. And
They probably got date night they went through. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
But we always do a marriage in motion. And this is just one practical step the couples can take for this week to really go further in their marriage, just by doing something very, very simple. And so, do you have one?
You want to let them give us one.
I know, but okay. So we'll just do it. So marriage.
Yeah, I have one, but yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like another question. Y'all don't worry about that. This is just something. Oh, seriously, who the real life? So when you think about like a couple who might, okay, there is healing that needs to take place, and they're listening to this and they say, I want that. What is one practical step, first step you can take in getting healing in your relationship?
Me to go first. Go. I'll say something that just because it's what we went through when I feel like we were on different pages and I wasn't sure if we were going to make it. The best thing that I could do, regardless of if my wife chooses me back or not, I'm going to choose her. But if I can't do anything about that right now, I'm going to work on me. Mm-hmm. And so no matter what, the best thing I can do for my marriage and my wife and my kids and my household is I'm going to work on me and all of the things that I need help on. Because if I keep focusing on her or focusing on my kids or things that I can't change, I am going to drive myself to literal insanity and I'm going to lose my mind. So a lot of times when I'm worshiping, it's because my biggest prayer, my biggest gratitude is, Lord, you kept my mind. Yes. And I felt like I should have lost it so many times. And so if I don't know what to do outside of giving him praise, glory, and honor, thank you, God, for keeping my mind. Yeah. I know you see a finished product. I need your help in seeing me the way that you see me. Yeah. But I'm going to work on the things that I need to work on myself. And I'm going to trust that you're working on the things that I don't have the power to change.
That's good.
And leaving it there.
That's good. I think that's good. That's going to help somebody, right? Work on you, right? Focus on your spouse. That's so good. So
one thing that I really, really love that we do every single day is right as we're about to fall asleep, we pray together. Even if we're not fully connected with each other. Yeah. Like God always is our connector. And I think that's the best thing about marriage is like, yes, it's a promise to each other, covenant with each other, but ultimately it's all about God. Yeah. It really is. And that's how it'll always flourish is God, being at that center. So at the end of the day, we'll talk about, pray about, thank him for whatever it was that day. And I love that we've done that together, like constant, just coming back together at the end of the day. That's,
Yeah, that's good. So coming together at the end of the day, whether we're together or not, and work on yourself. Yeah. You said at the end of the day, that's the only thing you can do.
That's correct.
Listen, there you have it. Man, just such a wonderful time with your Shawns. We're so grateful that you two, just blessed us with your presence on here and, just chit-chatting with us. To really
your testimony, your experience, your wisdom, your love. We're grateful. And I know that this has blessed you if you're watching, and don't be stingy with it. Share it with someone else that you know can use it, because I know their story is powerful and there were definitely some gems dropped. So don't be stingy. Make sure you share it with another couple that could benefit from it.
Yeah. And until next time. Peace.
Gonna love you and always. No doubt you're my blessing. Ain't no second guessing. No one can separate.